Hello and welcome to episode number 3 of the Soggy Kookaburra podcast, which is my podcast all about knitting and crochet and all of the crafty things. My name's Kathy. I'm coming to you from a small town in North Wales in the UK. I live here with my husband, our teenage son, and our 2 cats, Pickle and Puka. You can find me on Ravelry and all over the internet as Kiltar. And I'm really pleased that you're joining me today. If this is your first time, welcome aboard the crafty train. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for tuning in again. Today is the 10th of June. It's a Sunday and the weather is beautiful again. At the moment, we have had about 2 or 3 weeks of gorgeous, sunny, warm weather, which if you're from North Wales, you know that's not normal for this time of year. We are well known for our rain over here. So we're all enjoying it. I've picked up a bit of a tan. It's been really lovely weather. Not so great for crocheting and knitting, I must say, but you know, we've been managing. So let's jump straight into the crafty content. First up, finished objects. Now I have 2 finished objects this week. Excuse me, coffee. So 2 finished objects. The first one, you'll have seen these on previous episodes. I finished my stripy socks for my brother Sam back in Melbourne. So I've been working on these for quite a while. Socks take me ages, possibly because the people I knit socks for tend to have big feet, and partially because I'm just not a very quick knitter. These are West Yorkshire Spinner yarn in the Mojito colourway. It's part of their cocktail range, so it's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. They are lovely and stripy. So these are now ready to go off in the post to Melbourne. It is winter over in Australia, so hopefully they will reach him before the weather warms up again over there. I'm really happy with these actually. The more that I do this particular pattern, which is just a vanilla sock pattern, I quite often use the Unapologetic Knitter's My Favorite Vanilla Sock pattern as a bit of a guide. It's all just plain knit all the way down. It's a modified Eye of Partridge heel, Kitchener toe, all done on 9-inch circular needles. So yeah, really quite pleased with these. I think I'm going to start trying some shorty socks because just the amount of time they take. I love long socks myself, but I think going forward I'm gonna maybe do some shorty socks. That might be a bit quicker for me. But yeah, so I'm really pleased with those. As I said, they've taken quite some time to do, but they're done now. I wanted to show them on this podcast before I posted them, so that's why I've held on to them. Sorry, Sam. But they are now ready to go. So yeah, look at that. Isn't that beautiful colours? Yeah, I hope he likes them. I hope they fit. I tried them on my son who has the same size foot as my brother and they fit him. So fingers crossed. So that's my first finished object. Really looking forward to posting these off and getting them out. The second one, when I should have been working on my other works in progress, I got a bit distracted. So this past couple of weeks, my friend from the US, Emma, has been over here visiting, and we tend to go a bit crafty nuts when she's over. I don't have a lot of people locally that I do crafting with, so when she comes over, we do all of the knitting and the crochet. Anyway, so we went shopping, as you do, and I'll show you some of the things that we bought. But while we were out, I bought 2 balls of Rico Design Creative Soft Wool Aran. So this is a really sort of soft grey yarn. It's in Aran weight, obviously. It's 75% acrylic, 25% wool. It's very soft and squidgy, not scratchy at all. And I picked it out. I got 2 balls of it, so I had 200 grams. And I picked it out because I've been wanting to make a shawl. I've never really made a shawl before, but if you've seen the show Outlander, which is based on the books by Diana Gabaldon, some of the beautiful knitted and crochet costumes in that. Anyway, there was a shawl. I really liked it. I had a look online on Ravelry, and found a pattern called a Slice of Nice shawl by, I think it was Bernat. Yeah, the Bernat Design Studio. Anyway, so this is the shawl. It's kind of lacy. It's not huge, but then I didn't want something huge. It's just, yeah, I don't know whether you can sort of see it's that sort of length, which means it's good for over the shoulders in the winter. It's so squishy and warm. I think I'm going to get some sort of pin, brooch, shawl pin, something like that. But really, really love it. And it just reminds me of some of the shawls that Claire from the Outlander series wears. And it's just, you know, isn't that pretty? And it was a really quick makeup, so that's kind of was my justification for doing this rather than working on some of my long-standing works in progress. So that's done now. I'm thinking I've got about, I don't know, maybe 70 grams left. So I'm tossing up the idea of doing just a really basic pair of fingerless mitts, crochet some fingerless mitts to go with it. It's a bit hard to think about mitts and shawls and winter stuff when it's so warm outside, but that's my plan. I think I have enough yarn. I need to weigh it, but I think I have enough yarn for just some basic short mitts, fingerless mitts. So that will be hopefully really, really nice. But yeah, so I'm really, really pleased. As I said, I've not really made a shawl before, but yeah, I'm really pleased. And my friend Emma made one exactly the same, but in a different colourway, in sort of a browny grey colour that really suited her complexion. So yeah, and we both finished within a couple of days. It was not a tricky knit. So I think I did this one on a 5.5mm crochet hook. Yeah, it used about probably 120 grams of Aran weight yarn. And yeah, so I'm really, really happy with it. So that is my 2 finished objects. Works in progress now. As usual, I have a large number, and I have added to that number since I last recorded a podcast. So I'll go over the 2 that I've been working on that you've seen before, and then 1 new one. Sorry, it's still quite early here, so I need coffee. So probably my most pressing project is the Hermione Everyday Socks for my sister. So I have now finished sock number 1, and this one is in King Cole Zig-Zag yarn 1252 Rainbow. That's the colourway. As I think I've mentioned in previous podcasts, I'm not a fan of the colours myself, but my sister does like them. So 1 sock is finished, and I'm actually quite pleased with how it's come out. It did get me thinking about my construction of the gusset though, because of course the textured pattern's only on the top. You can't really see that, I'm afraid. But the textured pattern's only on the top, and it got me thinking about maybe I'm doing my gussets backwards because it's so much narrower than the pictures that I've seen. So I maybe need to look at that and find out whether I should be doing the gussets going down that away instead of going that away, if that makes sense. But anyway, so otherwise it's a fairly standard kind of sock pattern. The patterning of the stitches is really interesting. I think you can see it a lot better now. I think if I do this pattern again, the Hermione's Everyday, because it's got such a pretty stitch pattern, I think the yarn's too busy for it, and maybe that's part of the reason that I don't like the way it looks. As you can see, it's really quite busy, but if I flip it over to the bottom of the foot, that's just in plain knit, and I think the colours look so much better. They look clearer. So I suppose that's a lesson learned. Sort of going forward, if the pattern's quite textured, then I really need to use a less busy yarn. I am currently working on the 2nd sock, so I'm almost finished the leg part. And again, with these really long legs, I really need to do shorties, don't I? As usual, on a 9-inch circular with my little pussycat stitch marker in this yarn. So that's my kind of my priority at the moment, but I dislike being obligated or told what to do. So even when it's me telling me what to do, So it tends to, what do I feel like working on? I should work on the socks, and then, yeah, some other stuff happens. So that is just living in a little stripy project bag that I picked up from, I don't even know, I think it's supposed to be a toiletries bag, but it does the job. I really like zippered toiletries bags for project bags. One thing, they're a lot cheaper than official crafty project bags. And secondly, it just keeps everything neat and together, which I like. So they're the Hermione everyday socks for my sister Laura. Priority. By the next podcast, these will be done, and hopefully they'll be ready to post out, and Laura will get them before the winter ends. What else have I been working on? Stuart, my husband's beanie, Sockhead hat. This is just going on forever. I mean, he has got a big head, so it's a big beanie, but also I just haven't actually been working on it that much. You see that sparkly blue project bag? Again, another toiletries bag, but yeah, sparkly blue project bag. We're getting there. We are getting there. It's in this lovely denim yarn, which is Cygnet Truly Wool Rich 4-ply 2137 denim mix. So all of the brim is done now. I have tried it on his head. It fits, which is exciting. Just on a set of large circular needles. You see I've got some pretty new stitch markers as well. They're kind of cool, aren't they? I picked them up from Etsy a few weeks ago, just for something different. So yeah, I have probably got about another inch, maybe an inch and a half of stockinette, and then I can start the decreases and my first ever attempt at using double pointed needles. So wish me luck on that. Again, I'd really like to say that this will be done by my next podcast, but there is no rush for this one. We're in summer at the moment, going into summer at the moment. I've got a little bit of time before this is going to be necessary for Stu. Still, that's work in progress, but I have done some. I've done probably, a few inches since I last showed you. So yeah, working on that Sockhead hat. That is by Kelly McClure as well, that pattern. Sockhead hat by Kelly McClure. So that's that one. And then I have a new work in progress. So on Facebook, I'm a member of the Fandom Knit and Crochet group. And as the title suggests, this is a group of fantastic people who knit and crochet things that link back to their fandoms, whether it's Star Wars or Marvel films or books, Harry Potter, whatever it is. And we all share our makes, which relate to our preferred fandoms, and a bit like the Outlander shawl rather that I made. A lot of people do like to make things that relate back to the fandoms that they love, and I'm a super geek, so I have loads of fandoms and nowhere near enough time to make all the things that I want. Anyway, all of this is leading up to the first ever knit along and crochet along for the group started a couple of weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. And there was a selection of shawls and scarves that we could make in either knitting or crochet. And I decided for the first time ever to knit a sort of a lacy effect shawl. Now, keeping in mind, I'm a very, very novice knitter. I only started knitting 6 months ago, and that was literally to make socks. So this is a big step forward for me, but I'm managing. So this is the start of it. It's the Reyna shawl, and the Reyna shawl is by Noora Backlund. I'll put the links and everything in the description bar below. So if you are interested, you can find it all on Ravelry. I'll put all the links and the details below. Anyway, so it's not bad for a first attempt, I think. I mean, it's obviously got a long way to go. This is, I'm probably only like maybe 20% of the way through the pattern. I'm doing it on big circular needles, which again, I've never really done anything on big circular needles. The yarn is one that I picked up from my local yarn shop, which is called Yarn O'Clock down in Mould. And it's kind of purples and reds, and I don't really know if that's showing, and pinks and sort of magenta. Anyway, it really reminded me, one of my favourite TV shows is Once Upon a Time, which is sort of a retelling of classic fairy tales in a modern day setting. And one of my favourite characters from this show is a chap called Rumplestiltskin. And his magic tends to show in these colours, in these reds and these oranges and these hot pinks and magentas. And as soon as I saw this yarn, I thought, that's what that reminds me of. So when this knit along came up, like, right, that's what I'm going to do. And if I was clever enough to work out how to use video editing software, I could put a little picture. I put like a mood board with all of Rumpelstiltskin's shots and showing the yarn and the magic colours. But you'll just have to trust me because I can't work out how to do that. But anyway, so that is the ball of yarn. It's Tibentan, I think is the name of the brand. There wasn't much detail on the tag for it actually. It's 4-ply. 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, and the rest is nylon. The yak wool makes it feel really drapey. It's very smooth. I think it's going to be quite warm actually as well. It's not, you know, there's no halo on it. It's very fine, very drapey. Yeah, I really like it. I didn't want to use this as socks actually. It's too nice to go on my feet, and that's why I thought the shawl would be perfect. So the colourway is called Pink Explosion, which I can kind of see. But yeah, so it's not complicated. It requires a bit of brain, so I've got to be quite aware of when I'm doing it. I can't really do it while I'm watching TV or chatting, or I have to be a bit like focused on what I'm doing. But that's going really, really well, and I'm just about, because we have like a schedule with the knit along. There's like a schedule of, you know, ideally you're up to this bit by this time, and I'm kind of there or thereabouts. And that is living in I'm Really a Mermaid project bag. And again, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a toiletries bag, but hey, it works for me and it's just the right size. So that is my other work in progress at the moment. Of course, as usual, I do have other stuff on the needles that I haven't touched. My husband's socks are languishing. My son has chosen some sock yarn. He really wants a pair of socks. So again, I've got everything together for that. I just haven't actually started it. I don't mind. I don't mind having loads and loads of projects on the go. It really, really doesn't bother me. Some people get stressed out by that. I am not one of those people. So, excuse me. Stash enhancement. Oh my gosh. So, like I said, Emma's been over. We did the shopping. I had some gift vouchers as well, so I didn't spend as much as you might imagine. But even so, definitely stash enhancement. First up, Emma brought with her from the States a couple of gifts for me, which was really, really sweet of her. I know I can always rely on Emma to get fantastic gifts because she knows what I like. And first up was this really cool project bag. So it's quite big, and I haven't got a big project bag, so that's really good. It's, you can see it's all stripy inside, stripy fabric. It's got pockets. You can hear my stitch markers rolling around in there. It's got pockets inside. It's got pockets on the outside. I have no idea who it's by because I threw away the tag. But how cool is that? It's like a quilted project bag. And it's got little handles. Yeah. And zippered, which is what I like. It's totally cute, isn't it? Just gorgeous. So that's awesome. That's what I was keeping my my Slice of Nice Outlander shawl in, actually. Perfect size for that because it fit 2 big balls of Aran wool and my project. So yeah, that's absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to start another big project to put in this. So where's that? Stitch markers. So there you go. So there's that. She also brought me some balls of yarn because she is my best friend, so she knows me. This one is sock yarn because she knows me so well. Oops, around the right way. It's a Lion brand. And it's really kind of interesting colours. It's sort of blues and oranges and browns. It's quite a masculine kind of colourway, which is always good because a lot of guys like to have quite muted colours in their socks. Thankfully, not my husband, but some guys do. So I might make my best friend over here a pair of socks out of this, maybe. We'll see. It is, let's have a look. Let's see what, oh, here we go. 75% wool, 25% nylon. Doesn't really say what type of wool it is. Lion brand sockies. So yeah, that's really pretty. I'm gonna add that to the stash. I have got such a sock yarn stash. Oh my gosh, so much. Anyway, so that's that. And then she also bought me something really unusual. Have a look at these. Aren't they the most gorgeous colours? They're all kind of, these are my colours. These are jewel tones, which I just love. Aren't they beautiful? So this is called Stitch Studio by Nicole, Mystic Waves. 70% acrylic, 30% wool. And let's see, it says it's a roving style yarn. I'm not sure what that means. I think it just means it's thick and thin, which, or maybe it's got naps and stuff in it. It's worsted weight. You see, it's kind of got, oh, blurry. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, it's thick and thin. It's got kind of, it's actually really soft as well. No idea. I've got 200 grams of it. No idea what I'm going to make with it, but it'll be something gorgeous and luscious and soft and worn by me. I don't know what I'm going to make. I really don't. But it's, how gorgeous is that? So she did really well on those. Something a bit different. That is going in my stash, and I don't know what it's going to grow up to be yet, but something. Right, so when we went shopping, Emma and I, and my my husband drove us around, he was very good. He you know, squished wool with us, even though I know that's not really his thing. He squished yarn. He was very patient with us, and he drove us all over the country. We went to a couple of different places, one of which was Aran Fabrics. They've got a big store in, or their flagship store is in Holywell, which is in North Wales, but this time we went to Birkenhead, which because we were out that way, and they've got a smaller store there. And I had some gift vouchers for Aran as well, so that was fun. That's where I got the grey wool for my Outlander shawl. But I also bought a couple of balls of sock yarn. So here they are. They're sparkly sock yarn. You can't really see the sparkle on the blue, but you can see it on the black and silver. So 2 100-gram balls of sock yarn. I have bought this sock yarn, not these colours, but I have bought this sock yarn before. I've not used it yet, so I have no idea what it's like, but I couldn't resist it. It was so lovely. So they're 72% virgin wool, 24% polyamide, and 4% polyester, which I guess is the sparkly bit. And I don't know how to tell what the colourway number is. It's either 006 or 1152. The labels are not in English, so I'm going to have to guess, but you can sort of, I don't know whether you can see that actually. But anyway, so that's the black and grey and white one. And again, I thought it was a little bit more muted, which could come in handy because I do like my brights, but not everybody does. So yeah, that's 006 or 1152, whichever. And this one in the blue is 005 or 1150. So again, not sure what the colourway is, but that's Super Bar Las Vegas 4-ply superwash merino. So yeah, quite happy with those. And then I went to a new yarn shop for me. It was recommended by my neighbour Joanne. Her best friend actually runs this yarn shop up in Ellesmere Port, which is on the Wirral, not far from us, about 20 minutes from where I live. And it's called Knit and Natter with Jan. I'll put a link to her Facebook page in the description box below. But I'd never been there before, and they were so lovely. You know, really nice people in the shop. They had a group going when we visited. Just, yeah, really nice local yarn shop in the middle of an industrial estate. And they had a fantastic selection of Zig-Zag, King Cole Zig-Zag yarn. And I really like King Cole Zig-Zag yarn most of the time, except for the colourway that I'm working on for my sister's socks. But I really like the yarn. So I've kind of filled my boots a little bit. I think, yeah, I got four balls. So this is all 4-ply sock yarn. There's this one, which is Tiger Lily, which is colour 3165. And it's not, I'm not sure whether it's going to stripe or just sort of variegate as it goes through. Really not sure. But it's kind of cool. I really like that. So that's Tiger Lily. I've got Chinese Violet, And these really are my colours. They're all blues and purples, and it looks a bit like a watercolour. You see, because it's got these sort of faded bits. So that's Chinese Violet, which is number 3166. This ball is Blossom. And again, I really like these colours. They're going to be potentially quite bright, but they're socks, so I don't mind bright colours on socks. And that's Blossom, which is 3167. And then this one here is called Bluegrass. And it reminds me a little bit of the beachy coloured one that my girlfriend Emma brought over for me, or sent over to me a few weeks ago. I've showed you before, different brand obviously, but it's got those same greens and blues and sort of creamy yellows. That's called Bluegrass, which is Colourway 3168. So yeah, I have way more stash, as if I needed more stash, as if any of us need more stash. I have way more sock yarn than I will ever have time to actually make, but that's okay. I love having a nice big set. I just think, you know, at some point I may just get a period of time where I don't have to be at work and I can just knit to my heart's content. Talking of things that we do when we're doing downtime, when we're R&R, when we're not at work and we're not running around like crazy people, podcasts. I have watched quite a few crafty podcasts. I would be absolutely thrilled if you could let me know what your favourite podcasts are. I've sort of got, oh gosh, I mean, I must have subscribed to about 4 or 5 that I watch religiously. Of those, there's 3 that I really, really enjoy. I will put the details down below, but I'm going to tell you about them as well because, like I said, I find them really, really enjoyable to watch, and you might as well. So the first one is the wonderful Amy from Stranded Dye Works. She's an indie dyer. She, unbelievable sweaters. She knits these sweaters. They churns out these sweaters. I don't know how she finds the time because she runs this thriving indie dye company as well. But really, really enjoy watching Amy. So that's Amy at Stranded Dye Works. Then there's Alison. She's from the south of England, and her podcast is called Little Drops of Wonderful. And the thing I like about Ali is she's so real. You know, I feel like I'm sitting in her kitchen talking to her. She's just such a genuine, real person. And she does fantastic knitting and crochet projects. Like me, she's primarily a crocheter and has relatively recently taken up knitting. So watching her go through that journey has been really enjoyable and continues to be really enjoyable. So yeah, definitely check out her if you are looking for another podcast. That's Ali at Little Drops of Wonderful. And the final one is Bernadette, a lady from Canada, and she does the Coffee and Craft podcast. And Bernadette makes awesome socks. She knits some amazing socks and again churns these socks out. It's so inspiring to me to see these women with lives. You know, they don't just sit there and knit or crochet. They have real lives, and yet they still manage to dedicate enough time to their passion, their hobby, to create these beautiful things. So as I say, I'll put all the details in the description bar below. If you want to check them out, please let them know that I've recommended them. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it for this month. I will hopefully be a bit more on time next month. It's going into school holidays next month, so we'll see how busy we get. But yeah, I will be back in sort of 3 to 4 weeks time, and I hope you have a fantastic month crafting, knitting, crochet, whatever it is that you do to enjoy your time off. So see you soon. Bye.